Oh, good morning, everyone. So today's lesson is going to be on modals. So essentially, what a modal is that it is a sort of like a pop-up window. It's a pop-up window that shows a certain amount of content, but only when displayed. I mean, only when activated by a certain method. And that method may be if you hover over a window, a certain piece of content, or if you click a button, or if you go at a certain part of a website. So there's a lot of ways to activate it, but we'll be using a button for our example. So let's make a simple button, but our button is going to have two extra things. Now, two extra attributes. That is going to be data dot dash toggle and data dash target. Now, the reason why we need these two is because we want to pinpoint which modal we're talking about to our computer. Like, we want to actually tell it to, whenever this button is clicked, to activate this specific modal. So, in data dash toggle, you just simply put modal. And then for the um, target, you just put whatever ID that you want to identify that modal by. So, for me, I'm going to put new modal. So what a bool is that it's divided into like a number of div tags, like a large number of div tags. So it's divided into a modal header, modal body, and a modal footer, and you can essentially customize them all to a certain extent, but they all are just simply just like sub div tags within each other. So let's get started. So first, you just make a div tag with the ID that you started with. But well, mine was new modal. And then you, oops, I didn't close this. I bad. Button. And, and I don't know, activate my modal. So you essentially give an ID of whatever ID you place within the button. So this ID is saying that whenever this button is clicked, it would activate this modal. So next you add the class. The class you just put my bad, modal fade. So modal is usually what you put, but because we want a fade effect, we just add fade afterwards. And that's pretty much it for this tag at least. Let's close this down here. For the next tag, we will be actually making the modal itself. So class equals modal.content, then another div tag, class equals modal uh sorry, modal header. So because they're separated into three different subsections, you can edit each one of them individually. If I want to put H4, this is my new modal, I can do that as well. Now let's go on to div class equals modal dash body. Now this can actually hold a number of things such as text, videos, hyperlinks, whatever you want really. If I want to put an image here, I'm not going to, but if I wanted to put an image here, I just really could. If I wanted to put a paragraph here, then just like that. This is my new paragraph. Okay. Now let's close that as well. And then finally, actually, hold on. No, never mind. Let's continue. Let's continue. So the last part, div class equals modal dash footer. Now, footer is usually this is where you put the closing button, the button that you would use to essentially close this pop up after you've already viewed all the content. Now, to create that button, you simply make a button and then give it a type of button, but give it a class of close. And then data dismiss, not data toggle or data target, data dismiss. This will essentially alert your computer in a sense until to close this modal after you've already opened it. So you see my image here, you see my paragraph here, you see my H4 tag over here. So I'm not sure why exactly my closing tag isn't there, but aside from that one error, this does seem to be working properly. Sorry about that. I actually found that error that I made. So let me just fix this real quick for you. I didn't even close the actual button. There we go. Run. And there it is right here. So every time I click that, it closed the modal for me.